You're very welcome to our webinar today. We're joined today by Pradita Pradhan, who is Program Coordinator for Nepal at Field Ready. Field Ready is one of our partners here at EWB Ireland. We've been working with them for the last couple of years. We partnered with Field Ready earlier this year to launch a rapid design prototyping initiative for, to design and test PPE for production and use in Nepal and Bangladesh. And we also worked with Field Ready earlier this year to coordinate one of our innovation internships. So if you joined us way back when in June, you might have heard from Conal Casey, who was our innovation intern who worked with Field Ready. So you received mentorship and technical advice and expertise from Field Ready. So we're delighted to have Pradita here with us today, who also was involved in Conal's internship as well and supporting him. So Pradita is just going to talk to us more about the work that Field Ready does. Field Ready is an innovative humanitarian organization that focuses on capacity building and producing manufacturing supplies in the field and producing what's needed, where and when it's needed. And that obviously leads to better, faster and cheaper aid. So they're really focused on developing the local networked manufacturing capacity of communities. So that's what Pradita is going to talk to us about. Her background is in electronics engineering and business administration. And she also co-founded Tech, which is a Nepalese initiative to empower women and young girls in the tech sector. So she's going to share her experience with Tech briefly initially, before moving on to talking about her experience with Field Ready. So Pradita, over to you. Thanks so much and enjoy the webinar, guys.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for this lovely opportunity to, let me share my work with you all. And thank you so much for the introduction as well, Emma. I'll quickly share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can do, Pradita, yeah.
Okay. So, thank you all again. The only thing that I would like to add, is that Miss in Technology, it was a project under an organization called RAM, Robotics Association of Nepal, and Miss Tech, it had been initiated with a vision of encouraging women in technical field. So it is a team of women for women. So Miss Tech, Miss in Technology, we're developing a platform for enthusiastic women in technology to share the technical knowledge so that they can make a difference in their communities. So it provides, different softwares and hardware related workshops for the students of, different levels to teach courses related to coding, creating, and computing. So yeah, now moving on with our topic. So today I'm here to speak on Field Ready's approach to building community resilience through uh, enabling technology and working in partnership with different local communities. So this would be in perspective on innovating logistics in the humanitarian aid and disaster response sectors, and looking at the importance and value of the locally networked manufacturing. So the topic for the session, for today's session, is resilience through technology, and how communities can become resilient using local manufacturing technologies. Now, moving on, I'd like to start with a really brief overview of Field Ready. Emma has already give us a really brief overview, but yeah, Field Ready meets humanitarian needs around the world by transforming logistics through technologies, design, and engaging people in new ways. So it does that by using design thinking, human-centered design, and many industry-based practices. So Field Ready designs and makes useful items to solve problems using to solve problems locally in different sectors, including like health, reconstruction, sanitations, wash, etc. So it does that by using the latest digital manufacturing technologies such as 3D printers, CNCs, lasers, and also traditional manufacturing. So after that, like Field Ready passes these technologies, solutions, and also skills to through other, to others through trainings and even pioneering innovative approaches to the toughest challenges. The impact of this is like there's this dramatically improved efficiency in aid delivery, like by cutting the procurement cost, increasing local capacity to respond, designing innovative solutions to issues, problems, and also helping organizational partners to quickly meet humanitarian needs. So well, Field Ready started, working in Nepal after the 2015 earthquake. And since then, as I've mentioned, it has been working in various sectors such as 3D printer, Rescuetek, education, nutrition, and etc. So during our, starting years, Field Ready had developed health items, which has been used in IDP camps. So, well, the pictures that you see on the screen are all the various products being used. There are like spares and repairs for medical equipments using basic electronics and 3D printers. There are other products or items that's really helpful at times of emergency. And there was this project called 3D printing sector development with DFID, so in which we kind of mapped out different organizations using different digital manufacturing equipments in Nepal. So now I would like to share a few projects that we've worked on in Nepal. So to start with, there's this really beautiful story with Field Ready, in which Field Ready could be a part of. So normally, people in rural areas of Nepal still burn firewood to cook food, but if the combustion is not so good, then there's plenty of smoke, which is really bad for health. So Madhukar Casey, the guy that you see, in the center of the slide, he had designed an improved cook stove using an air supply disc, which has proven to be efficient. But then initially he had some problems developing, the prototype. As you can also see the picture, it's quite complex. So uh, he had that problem, and then that's where he already helped him develop a prototype. He then had it manufactured, and now it's being used in around like 100,000 houses. So we worked with the manufacturers, inventors, and then we've done prototyping support. We've made prints, and like let's take it this way, like one 3D print has been translated into 100,000 and hundreds of thousands of air supply discs now, which are kind of all over Nepal, and now which is kind of which also helps reduce the intensity of lung disease. Okay, so yeah. Uh, Next, I would like to talk about Rescuetek. So, yeah, the middle picture on your left, it's a set of 5 items, which is like, it's a heavy lifting kit that can lift up to 4.5 tons just with compressed air. So, this project was with World Vision Nepal. And, this search and rescue equipment is like not in use for most of the time. I would say like 99% percent of the time it's not being used. But then the 1% of the time when it's being used, it'll save lives. Like it'll be saving, maybe a whole family from a collapsed building. So that's where it's gonna make a really big difference. So this kind of, this kit was not available before, as the internationally made items are incredibly expensive. but this was produced with the same standard as European standard at a local level. So we produced it in a makerspace with the help of a team of local engineers. As you can also see in the slides, there are pictures like we're working there, we are testing the bags, we're making the bags. So yeah, we made around 120 airbags. That's like 60 sets. And the airbags then were distributed to the local first responders in like 46 locations in 11 districts. So that's like trying to cover like all the regions of Nepal. So Nepal being a disaster prone area, this kind of equipment would be really helpful. Now now moving on, as we all know that Nepal is also a developing country. So Nepal, it has its like the malnutrition possesses a significant development challenges across the country. So though there has been some improvement in this rate, it still needs to be improved. So hydroponics projects. So this particular project focused on locally made low cost hydroponic system as a focal point to STEM education, learning, and also to boost nutrition among the students. So to start with, we had actually installed 4 hydroponics plants in 4 different schools, so 2 public and 2 private schools. This system, would give the students a chance for a hands-on learning, which previously they had, they just used to learn it theoretically. So if you look at the slide on your bottom right, he's a teacher in one of the public school. He's holding a book. So the book has, a curriculum for the agriculture, hydroponics, and stuff like that. But before this hydroponic system was installed, students used to just, get theoretical knowledge out of it. But now, with the having a plant installed there, the students can, get practical knowledge as well. And not only this, like many other schools that, other than these 4 schools, have shown interest in the system and are like, asking for collaborations. So even the 4 schools are collaborating with the schools that, in their area, nearby schools, to, arrange some practical sessions together with them. Right. So similarly, the other project that we had was around enthusiasts and was a project initiated to provide knowledge and practical experience in digital manufacturing, 3D designing, and rapid prototyping to makers, innovators, engineers, and different user groups from Nepal. So the project is called Humanitarian Design Challenge. So we conducted around like 11 demo workshops, throughout Nepal, and we had around 500 plus participants, among which 86.2% were male and the rest were female. So we really wanted to increase the participation of the females. So during our design sprint, we wanted 50-50 participants from the various groups. Now, yeah, we actually asked for like 20 participants from for this is specifically for the design sprint. So we asked for 20 participants from different sectors, mainly from engineering and arts background. And while we were targeting for having at least 50 female participation, we had more than the expected number, and there were like 14 female participants. That's like 70% of the participants were female, which was really good. So the design challenge was a 3-day session in a span of 2 weeks, where the participants aimed to find solution to various challenges related to health items using open source platforms, and also they also made prototypes out of it. So now I actually have a really short video that I would like to share with you all. Um,
Pradita, just to mention, if you just go, oh, I think we maybe hear it actually. I wasn't sure if there was sound and if we would hear it, but maybe we do. Sorry, let's go again.
yeah, sure.
All good, yeah. So yeah, well, it was a really, it was really good to see these enthusiasts, come together and work. They were like really, quite simple yet brilliant ideas that they worked on, and they actually just needed, some guidance and of course a platform. But then soon after that, the pandemic started. So yeah, as the COVID pandemic spreads around the world, prevention and preparedness are keys, right? So our first specific product in response to the pandemic was a hand-free, elbow-operated tap, which can be used by a user's elbow. And other than that, the same product can also be used, as a door handle. So yeah, along with all this, we are also, preparing to okay, yes. So we're also, preparing to open our first Fab Lab here in Nepal in partnership with Nepal Communitarian, who is also our local partner here. And we're targeting it to be here by, January 2021. So in Nepal, like, entrepreneurs and innovators that we've worked with previously as well, they face a lot of like immense challenge due to lack of this trained and skilled design staff, and there's this little, or let's say like no access to equipments for product design, development, or even rapid prototyping. So they are required to go either to India or China for those kind of designing services. So digital fabrication can help in enhancing the quality of the Nepal made products and make it globally competitive. And having a lab as such will bring digital fabrication technologies to Nepal, and to strengthen product design, um, development for the entrepreneurs, engineers, migrants, and many other sectors.
So the equipment, Nepal, so basically this equipped Nepal Fab Lab will be, will fill a critical gap, let's say a critical product development gap for emerging sectors in Nepal. Sectors such as like, agriculture, manufacturing, and many more. So to support that, we are also building a team of skilled local staff, which will be able to provide a range of courses and workshops to these diverse groups. So having this could have a potential impact on the society itself. So yeah, finally, what I would like to say is that the uses of these kind of technologies, have helped shape lives and livelihoods at different levels, and it will continue to do that. So these technologies can bring resilience and can have an incredible impact on the community as well. So with all the projects and operations that we've done here, Field Ready Nepal has significantly increased the range of skills and experiences, and is looking for more designs, trainings, and capacity building with equal participation of both males and females in the coming years. So yeah, and these efforts would lead to incorporation into humanitarian sectors. So yeah, thank you so much. Well, I'm open to questions now. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Pradita. That was great. Really interesting to see the case studies in action. Yeah, guys, we're putting the floor to you now. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat or Q&A box, and I can unmute you so you can ask Pradita yourself, or I can put the question to myself if you prefer. So I have one actually myself to get us started while we give people, actually, we do have one from Tracy Fork. Okay, so Tracy, we'll be with you in 1 second. Just for me, just curious, Pradita, actually what the next steps for the designs from the Humanitarian Design Challenge are now, or sort of where what the next kind of approach is for the products produced and the prototypes.
Yeah, so with the design, the products that the product designs that came out of the design challenge has been uploaded in the open source platform. So that's yeah, that was our motive to so that the designs could be replicated where needed, right? So yeah, it's already been
Brilliant.
uploaded.
Okay, so all live. Brilliant. Okay, I'll have to check them out. Excellent. So Tracy, I'll just unmute you there now. 1 second. Okay, Tracy, should be able to talk now.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can do.
Yeah. So my question is, how do you decide what projects to pursue in Nepal? Where do you, obviously you're probably going by need, but how do you decide what efforts to focus on, and who sponsors the effort out there, like from a financial perspective? Like where are you getting the backing from the government and or the local community? How does all of that work?
Thank you so much, Tracy, for the question. So yeah, Feel Ready is a US-based organization, and here we're like working with different partners. So basically, there's a, I mean, I am a project coordinator, and there's a team, and Feel Ready who actually, does the study and then come up and decides on the projects, different projects that we're gonna do. So, and partially it's also on the needs basis, right? So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Tracy. Do we have any other questions there, guys? Anyone? Oh yeah, I think we do. Okay, no, just a comment from Dr. Shravan Kumar Singh, just saying nice presentation. So thanks, Shravan. Any other questions, guys? Everyone's very shy today. Actually, one more for me, Pradita, while we wait to see if there's any more questions. Okay, one follow up from Tracy. We'll share that out. So, what are the next steps and next projects? She asks.
Okay. Yeah, so we're planning for now. We're planning to, first of all, our plan is to get our first Fab Lab, launch our first Fab Lab here in Nepal, and then of course, there are there's in pipeline which we're not sure of for now, but with that we have the other project that we are, working on is, from Royal Academy of Engineering. So we are actually we're basically training, different groups like the makers, innovators, entrepreneurs, training them, and that has it's actually going side by. So it's like the four focus area for now. That's also, that's kind of related to Fab Lab itself, but the four focus areas right now is CAD, digital fabrication equipment, human-centered design, and basic, electronics and robotics. So that's what we're planning to, work on for the next few months. Actually, yeah, that's basically capacity building there.
Interesting. And what kind of response have you had to that at the moment, Pradita? And just out of interest in terms of sort of men and women interested in participating, is there, what kind of, have you seen any response yet, or not quite launched yet? It's just preparing to
Yeah,
launch.
it's actually, yeah, what we're trying to do is, first of all, like we are preparing, we're preparing for curriculums for, those four sectors. And for that, we started with the market research, and, we just wanted to know how interested people are, how many, males or females are interested, and stuff like that. So during that time, we found out like most of the males are, we've got response from the male participants, and we're still, trying to, get more female participants, like even during our like design, this demo workshop, there were we specifically had workshops just targeting females. So yes, it was, of course, that we could see the difference there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, even what we've experienced is that, like, if it's an open workshop, then it's like, we get more male participants than females. So if we, specifically, specify the workshops just for women,
Female.
then
Yeah.
you can see the difference. There are
Yeah.
actually plenty of women out there who are actually, interested, but then kind of, let's say, I'm not sure. They might be shy. They might, have this something that's stopping them, right?
Yeah.
So if we specify, that we're targeting women, then there are participants there.
Yeah.
So that was one experience when, I mean, I had that experience when I worked, for Mistec, as well as like I had it when, having our workshops here at for, the Humanitarian Design Challenge as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I would agree. I think when you kind of create that space, and maybe it is a safe space, it definitely it makes a difference, right, to participation. Okay, so we have a couple of questions here. So one from Pragya. Actually, I'll unmute you there now, Pragya, so you can ask. 1 second. Okay, Pradita, should be able to speak there now if you want to talk to Pradita.
Okay. First of all, thanks a lot for the presentation. It's been very insightful. My question is, how much support have you received from the government versus private sector companies or partnerships?
Well, thank you so much for your question, Pragya. So, well, Field Ready is not registered here in Nepal, and we're working with different partners here, and well, talking about government, it's quite difficult, to get them understand what we're trying to do. So now, I'll be talking I would like to give you an example. Now we're trying to bring in, this lab, and then we're struggling. We need to get approvals from government, right? But then for that, there are multiple presentations that we need to give them. We need to, make them understand why we're bringing this, this lab. What are we going to do with this equipment and stuff? So it's kind of hard to make. We're basically struggling there, but yeah, that's what I would like to say here. It's quite struggling at that part. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pradita. We have, oh no, just a comment from Enya Carroll saying, I don't have any questions, but thank you so much for sharing this amazing work. So thank you, Enya. Are there any other questions there, guys, before we finish up? And Tracy as well, just saying wonderful presentation. Thank you. So thank you, Tracy. Just actually, yeah, one that I had thought of myself before, actually, Pradita, just in relation to the hydroponics project that you were doing with the schools. And sorry, forgive me if you did mention this, if I missed it, but the number of schools that you worked with, was there an appetite from more schools to kind of get involved, or was it quite like difficult to kind of break into schools and to do that, or was there real openness to engage with that on the part of teachers, or what kind of response did you get there?
Yeah. First of all, while selecting the schools, it was like, well, we actually simply said that the whole idea of having this project, and then most of them were like, no, they didn't want it.
Okay. Right. So yeah, it's a bit challenging up front then to sell it.
But then public schools are like, because with the public schools, they are, the background of the students, they're kind of, in comparison to the students who go to the private schools, in comparison to that, they are quite familiar with what agriculture is. They have, worked on that. They actually see, basically have hands-on knowledge on that, sector. But yeah, but for private schools, it was really, quite, it was a struggle to find, schools to have that. But then once we, there were few actually, I would like to be honest here. Like, there are, really few schools which are, quite open to these kind of technologies that are, even the, what do we call the learnings innovation, they're quite open. They're not so quite open to innovations and stuff, or having other organizations, come in and then, have these kind of events and stuff. They want it inside, in-house.
Okay,
So
yeah.
quite difficult to find schools, but then luckily we did find few, and then we had to select 4 schools out of those, and then so that is when we decided, like, because it would be like a pilot project for us. We wanted to test how kind of actions would we be getting from public schools and private schools. What kind of difference that would make to
Yeah,
having
absolutely.
installing hydroponics plant in a private and a public school. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very interesting to see the difference between the two. But yeah, interesting to hear that. Yeah, that it's a challenge even to yeah, to get people to engage front up or up front and to be open to the innovation. So well done, and obviously getting to make the connections overall. Do we, I think we maybe have one final question. Oh yes, from Gregory. So Gregory, I'll just mute you there now quickly. Okay, should be able to speak now, Gregory.
Hi, I was just wondering if you know in the country, is it a challenge to operate a hydroponic system if maybe power supply is unreliable for running it?
Sorry.
Could you hear now? He was asking Pradita if it's a challenge to run hydroponic systems if the power supply is unreliable for it.
Oh, well, no. That's actually, it's basically not about, the systems thing, but rather people's interest in it. And the hydroponic, because as I've mentioned, like the plants that we installed were low cost. So the machines or the motors, basically it was, we had installed two kinds of, motors there. It was it was automatic, and it was like quite,
Do you want to answer the phone for me?
Oh, sorry, Gregory, if you just want to, yeah, okay, that was to continue on, Pradita, yeah, sorry.
So yeah, so it was quite, low power consuming motors that we've used. We used in that, and so normally it was, the project was the project that we did was outsourced to an hydroponics, hydroponics limited, and a company that does that, right? So they usually use, the overall the system is quite low, running in low power. It's basically low power consumption there. So yeah, there's no much, power related issues regarding the hydroponic system.
Great. Thanks, Pradita, and thanks for the question, Gregory. Do we have any final questions before we finish up, guys, or all covered? Don't think we do. No, I don't see any more coming through. So Pradita, huge thanks from all of us at EWB for joining us today and taking time out of your busy schedule and the Fab Lab, obviously Fab Lab work and everything that you're doing. So we really appreciate it. And best of luck to you at Field Ready, and we look forward to our continued collaborations together. So thanks again, and thanks everyone for joining us. And just to mention, for next week, we will be joined by Lady Katie Burns, who is Director of Operations at Mobility Mojo, a company based here in Ireland that works on accessible tourism, and she'll be discussing accessibility, what's it worth, the compelling business case for universal design. So we hope you might be able to join us next Wednesday for that, and enjoy the rest of your day. And thanks so much again for joining us, everyone. And thanks, Pradita. Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.